I had a close family friend who was involved in business in China. And again, this is when people were just starting to email, so things weren't as fluid maybe as they are or as easy as they are today. And so this was a family friend who was living a really exotic life. And so I said, I got to do something. Maybe this is a guy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So no different than we're talking right now. I called him up and said, hey, do you have a few minutes? I'd love to get together with you maybe for lunch or dinner one night. And from there, we talked. He ultimately said, hey, I got some guys that I think you should talk to. And so he helped set up some future conversations with some people that he was involved in business with. And ultimately that led to a job. And what it led to was a job that was involved in manufacturing portable lighting. So that's table lamps and floor lamps that plug into a wall, and selling them at a retail level. Now, in the early 2000s, mind you, there were a lot of brick and mortar stores out there, which are mom and pop shops, which don't exist today.
Yeah.
There were a lot of furniture stores. There were a lot of designers. The world was a very different landscape, but this come to find out was a family that was probably controlling 95% of lamps that were sold at any retail level were going through their hands.
Really?
And I wouldn't know this until I got involved in that world.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to work for a company that they were manufacturing. So they were one of the first American companies over in China manufacturing this product. And they went over there looking for a part. They realized they can manufacture an entire lamp over there for, fractions of what was being done here. They were the first ones to do it, and they had a great run. Ultimately, the company I went to work for was purchasing from them. They were kind of liaison in China, doing all the legwork in China, and we were selling to our retailers over here, and that was the relationship. And then about 2000, so I went to work for that company. A couple of years after going to work for that company, they ultimately were defaulting on their business. And I was forced again to make a pivot. And at that point, I said, you know what? Here's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've done the last 2 years. Why don't I buy from you guys and do the same thing? And I'm going to do it in a leaner, meaner way, and I'm going to cut out a lot of the fat, and I think I can figure this out. And so we had some ideas, we ran with it, and ultimately we had some success right off the bat, which led to where we are today. But that was how I got involved in the business that I am today. That was my kind of entrance into the business. And for many years, portable lighting is what we did, and then we expanded the line, and it was perfect timing with big box retailer taking over the world. Mm-hmm. So today we provide a lot of various home accessories to all of the big box retailers that still exist.
Okay. How interesting. Do you know how he got in like that niche market of lighting?
So the way that family got involved in it was a family business. So it happens to be in Chicago, where I'm from originally, the north side of Chicago. But Chicago was a manufacturing hub for lighting, and their manufacturing was still taking place for all the individual parts up until, even through the 80s and 90s. Okay, our family friend went over there in probably the early 80s, really took off in the late 80s, and they had a good 20-year run where they really dominated the marketplace. How they got involved in it is they were making one part. Let's say that part was the lamp switch.
Okay, so they were working for a bigger company that was
They were manufacturing it. They were a manufacturer in Chicago. They had a small little plant. down on Canal Street, and they were literally stamping out this one part, and people were buying the part. They went over to China to ultimately get that one part made.
Yeah.
While over in China getting that one part made, they came to the quick realization, I'm the only American here. I can make the entire lamp here for, pennies on the dollar ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
And really quickly, again, there's a fear today when you talk about made in China. The fear is slowly going away. The fear back then was huge, but he was able to overcome this fear with this category. And he dominated the manufactured lamp, market for a good 20 years and, turned, maybe $1 million company into, $100+ million company, relatively quickly, and one that there was margin involved in. And, now ultimately, they don't exist today.
Gotcha.
They ultimately, to their own fault, made some mistakes, didn't change in the world when needed to change. And, the world didn't wait for them.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, they had a great run. So that was how I got involved in the business that I'm in today. And again, today lighting is a part of our business, but not like the other categories. It's led to a lot of other categories that we sell. And so I would just say general merchandise, because today we do home accessories. We're in the wellness category, health and wellness. We're in bath accessories. We're in gardening accessories. We're in seasonal. We're, the list goes on and on and on and on. This box, I had a box somewhere we might have moved. It's full of wind chimes that we were doing videos for just the other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's hard to, shoot a video of a wind chime in the middle of winter in Wisconsin, right?
Right. Yeah.
Especially with 20 inches of snow. So luckily we have some shiplap on the wall. And,
there you go.
Yeah. So that's how I got involved in the business I'm in today, which I'm considered a manufacturer, even though technically we're subbing out all the manufacturing out to other factories. But on a legal level, the buck stops with me because, I'm the U.S. leg going overseas. So for sake of conversation, I would say I'm a designer and manufacturer of the list I just gave you.
Yeah.
Product, for these big box retailers.